Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I'm so incredibly excited to jump into this with you today, mainly because we're focusing on something that literally impacts your daily grind. I mean, if you're a mechanical engineer, you already know that your CAD workflow is the absolute beating heart of your projects. But let's be real about what that daily grind actually looks like for a second. It's usually this grueling cycle, right? Iterating on super complex part geometries, dealing with endless minute revisions, and just meticulously detailing those manufacturing drawings with precise geometric dimensioning and tolerancing. Well, today, we're setting our sights completely on transforming that exact workflow. We're going to look at how to take your daily routine from this tedious string of software tasks and turn it into a beautifully streamlined, highly efficient process, one that finally matches the high caliber of your engineering expertise. So the material we're unpacking today kicks things off with this very specific, very direct greeting. Hi, CAD engineers. And I honestly love this opening because it immediately establishes this direct peer-to-peer connection. And it sets a really crucial boundary. So much of the generic CAD advice out there is heavily skewed toward architectural floor plans or like civil site layouts. But mechanical engineers, you face a completely unique set of constraints. You're dealing with tight machining tolerances, precise alignments, and just incredibly complex mating surfaces. So this isn't just general advice for anyone who opens a computer program. No way. This is a laser-focused message strictly for you, the professionals spending hours meticulously designing and perfecting actual physical systems. You are the intended audience, and these insights are tailored strictly to the reality of your specialized daily work. And, we really need to take a moment to honestly acknowledge that reality. We have to talk about the drafting dilemma. Traditional, manual, mechanical drafting is just incredibly taxing. I mean, think about that visceral frustration of navigating a complex interface. Imagine dragging your mouse all the way across dual monitors just to hunt down and click the chamfer tool in some crowded ribbon menu. You execute your command, and then literally 2 minutes later, you have to drag your mouse all the way back across those screens to click the fillet tool. Repeating that exact same multi-step visual search process over and over, it's an exhausting workload. It's this tedious, time-consuming reality that systematically drains the creativity right out of your engineering process. Because every single second you spend moving a mouse across the screen to locate a button is a second you aren't spending solving complex design challenges. Which brings us directly to the core provocative question posed by our source material. Want to save time while drafting? Take a second to really internalize what that means for your specific job. Your time as a mechanical engineer is incredibly valuable. Honestly, it's likely your most constrained and precious resource. So saving time in your drafting process isn't just about, knocking off work 5 minutes early. It's really about what you could be doing with that reclaimed time. Instead of fighting the software, you could be running critical finite element analysis simulations. You could be optimizing your material selection for better weight reduction or iterating on a physical prototype. It's about reclaiming your mental bandwidth to focus on true engineering and innovation, rather than just the admin work of your drawing software. Okay, let's dive into this, because the fix presented here is elegantly simple but massively impactful. Daily AutoCAD shortcut commands. The source explicitly highlights that utilizing these daily commands acts as the absolute ultimate remedy to those endless hours of manual clicking. By actively baking these specific hotkeys into your routine, you completely bypass the friction of the visual interface. Instead of visually searching for the line tool, your left hand just taps L and the spacebar. Need to quickly trim overlapping edges on a custom bracket profile? That's just TR. What about rounding off a sharp machined corner to reduce stress concentrations? You just hit F for fillet. By embracing these commands, you stop pointing and clicking your way through menus, and you start communicating with the software directly. It drastically cuts down the time it takes to get a concept out of your head and onto the screen. But adopting these daily commands goes way beyond just memorizing a few random keystrokes. It represents a foundational shift in how you physically interact with your designs by building deep, reflexive muscle memory. When you no longer have to look away from your geometry to find a tool, you stay locked into the engineering problem at hand. Think about those intermediate shortcuts that are just absolute lifesavers in mechanical workflows. Hitting B to instantly create blocks is crucial when you need to rapidly insert standard off-the-shelf fasteners or bearings into a subassembly. Or using MI for mirror, absolutely essential for symmetrical mechanical parts like cast housings or precision flanges. When your fingers know exactly where to go without you having to consciously think about it, your eyes never leave the design. You shift from a reactive state of, scratch that. You shift from just merely operating AutoCAD into a proactive state of truly mastering it. And this brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast between these two approaches to your workday. On one hand, you've got the old method, this tangled, rusty process of hunting through toolbars, pulling down menus, and constantly breaking your concentration. It perfectly represents all the friction and drag of working harder but slower. On the other hand, you have the fluid state of modern drafting. By keeping one hand anchored on the keyboard and the other operating the mouse, you create an uninterrupted, continuous flow of commands. This dual-handed approach lets you keep track of incredibly complex geometric relationships without ever breaking focus. You completely eliminate the mechanical bottlenecks between your brain and the digital canvas, which allows you to accelerate through your designs with just unprecedented speed and precision. Committing to this streamlined workflow is absolutely essential for reaching peak mechanical engineering performance. It's about optimizing your toolset with high-leverage commands so your output finally matches your expertise. Consider the power of advanced shortcuts that truly elevate your workflow. Take a command like CH space or change space. When you're detailing a complex manufacturing drawing, being able to instantly push intricate mechanical details back and forth between your model space and your layout tabs without tedious scaling, that is a total game changer. Or think about AL for align. When you're putting together a complex multi-part assembly, being able to snap components perfectly into place with a single command, rather than relying on multiple separate move and rotate actions, really proves the immense value of this methodology. When you optimize at this level, the software just becomes a seamless extension of your engineering intent. We started by recognizing the heavy, creativity-draining burden of manual drafting. And we've explored how building deep muscle memory with targeted daily commands transforms that entire process into a fluid state of drafting. So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought based on the source text. What will you build with the time you save? When you eliminate the tedious clicking, bypass those crowded ribbon menus, and reclaim hours of your work week, where will you direct that newly found energy? Will you use those reclaimed hours to optimize a critical stress analysis? Or maybe to perfect the tolerances on your next major prototype? Thank you so much for exploring this explainer with me. I highly encourage you to start integrating these commands today, and I seriously can't wait to see how you apply this newfound efficiency to your own mechanical engineering workflow. Catch you next time.